Hello there, and welcome to Hacking Self-Storage. I'm your host, Dean Booty. I always get really excited by doing these because I just feel very honoured and privileged that people are listening to me talk about a great passion of mine, self-storage, entwined with marketing, management, and all. I just feel very, very lucky that people are listening, which is awesome. And it's because of you guys that these episodes come about. So today, we're talking about churn rate because I get asked many, many times about churn rate. What is my churn rate? What can you expect it to be? And I was talking, I do so much research about churn rate. I talk to people in my American mastermind. I listen, I learn, I use other industry practices for churn rate. And unfortunately, nothing seems to really work in self-storage because when they don't need you anymore. Why would somebody continue paying 150 quid a month or whatever it is for a storage space that they don't need? They won't do. And so churn rate is a very, very real factor with us. And it's something that we can't do anything about. But the exciting thing about churn rate is that the longer your site is open, the less the churn rate. What do I mean by that? I mean that customers stay longer the longer you're open. The average length of stay increases because the way I always talk about it is, I'm going to try and explain this as best I possibly can. When you first open, let's say for argument's sake, in the first year, you get 100 customers. Now, 10% of those customers might be long-term. It might be more, but just for the argument's sake of this podcast, 10% of those customers will be long-term. And so the next year, you've got 90. So you've got 100 rooms to go at, and you get, this is not working well for explanations, right? So you've got 100 rooms to go at, first of all. And you get, so we get 100 customers move in. So all them rooms are taken. And then we've got 10% of those are going to be long-term. The next year, we've only got 90 rooms to go at. And then we get 90 people move in for ease of understanding. So we've got 90 rooms and we get 90 people move in the next year. That's year two. And then another 10% of those, or another 10 of those are long-term customers. And so therefore we've got 20 long-term customers out of 100. So we've only got 80 to go at. And if you're not watching this, by the way, I'm doing all hand signals and everything to make it kind of, I don't know, trying to make it more understandable. And so then the next year we might have another 10%. So that means we've only got 70% to go out for the following year. And then another 10 customers might be long-term again. And so therefore we've only got 60. And so what happens is that the longer we open, the more we accumulate long-term customers. And so I can back this up with stats as well. So Willoughby has been open 5 years. And I know it's a very, very small sample size. It's distorted because we've had so many people move in very, very early doors, and we're actually including those people. So we might have had 100 people move in the past 8 weeks. And so we're still including those in the data, which obviously distorts it somewhat. And so it can never be an exact science, but unless you don't include a period of time and stuff, but then it gets confusing. But ultimately, what happens is, at Willoughby, this is a store more than 30,000 square foot indoor facility that's got 60,000 because we've got mezzanine flooring and we've got outdoor containers, etc. And so what happens is that our average length of stay for Stormont in Willoughby is it's 17 weeks. 17 weeks at Willoughby at the minute. But don't forget that will increase all the time. Now, when we look at Beverley is, it's been open 11 years, but the average length of stay is 49 weeks. So it's not quite a year, but the average length of stay, and again, we've had maybe 10 move-ins this month or whatever it is. So we've had in the last 4 weeks, which for Beverley, by the way, is quite a lot because it's only a very, very small site. And so it does distort it somewhat, but it gives you some parameters. It gives you some idea. And so the longer you stay open, the less of a churn rate that you will have, because you've got the long-term customers there, and then you've only got maybe 70% of rooms, 60% of rooms, 50% of rooms that are available, because the longer you're open, the more of your units get taken by long-term customers. That's what's happened at Beverley. We've got some customers at Beverley that's been with us 7 years, 7, 8 years. And again, that distorts the figures. So at some point, you've got to cut them figures off, because otherwise the distortion really takes to affect the overall figures. But for me, it's fascinating. And then somebody summed this up, and I was talking to him the other week, and I want to get the exact quote right, so I'm just bringing it up here. And churn is the price you pay for a high price per square foot. As soon as I said that, I was like, bang, that is on the money. That is fantastic. Churn is the price you pay for a high price per square foot. Now, we've got an incredibly high price per square foot at our Hull office. The one at Willoughby and the one at Clough Road. Beverley, it's not as expensive, but it's still bloody expensive because of in comparison to other outdoor self-storage. It is ridiculously high compared to everybody else. I've been going up to the northeast quite a bit. I've been going to Newcastle, Darlington, South Shields, Sunderland, and I've been doing price comparisons. And there's companies there that are actually £8 per square foot. £8 per square foot. And for bloody good looking sites as well. Bloody good looking. And so it depends on your area. The price per square foot you get depending on the area. And the problem is, what I don't want people to do is price themselves too cheap. If you start pricing yourself too cheap, then that becomes a norm, because then your customers will have to compete with you. And then it becomes a race to the bottom. £8 per square foot. I was working it out. This company I've been looking at, and I'm a bit of a geek. I absolutely love just going to Google, picking an area and doing a Google search, and then doing a deep dive into a certain customer, into a certain location. This self-storage facility has got 400 containers over multiple facilities, but 400 containers. And even if it's £3,000 per container, which at the minute you can't buy in for that is £1.2 million worth of assets they've got. And I worked out how much they will be making because of the rent, the rates, the cost, the staff and stuff. And it was probably in the region, you can't tell, but it's not going to be more than 250,000. And it's going to be between 150 and 250,000. So it's less than 15% or less than 25%. It's not a massive return on investment, especially when you're shelling out that much. I mean, containers are slightly different because there's always a value where indoor self-storage, there's not always a value for the indoor self-storage. So if anything happens to a container site, you've always got the asset there and you can always sell it. There's always going to be a market there to buy it. I understand that. But, I mean, that is a small return. And I'm just guesstimating the best case scenario. Best case scenario is going to be between 150 and 250 grand. I mean, I can't see 250 grand at all, but I'm shocked at the prices people do it for. And yeah, I mean, I'm all about raising the price per square foot because it's better for me, it's better for the customer, because ultimately, if it's better for us, we can do more. We can spend more money on security. We can spend more money on fences. We can spend more money on no-key technology, on the gate system, whether it be, bear box or whatever it is, you can spend more money on it. But if you haven't got that funding, if you haven't got that money, then you can't reinvest it into your company. So I'm staggered by the amount of, and by the way, they're full. They're absolutely full. I would love to buy that business because straight away I'd add value by increasing the prices. There's no insurance as well. That is another thing. There's no insurance. So many of these self-storage facilities don't maximize their income because they don't have insurance, and they wear it like a badge of honor. No hidden extras here. Like, no hidden extras. Yeah, but it's not about the hidden extras. We're looking after our customer. You wouldn't, if you was a car dealership, you wouldn't advertise you don't need insurance here. Of course you do. That's a fundamental part of driving. You need insurance. We all need insurance. Whether it be home insurance, car insurance, whatever it is, we need insurance because it protects us of the downside. And so if anything goes wrong, heaven forbid, in that site, then the customers have got no insurance. And who are they going to blame? They're going to blame the self-storage owner. Anyway, so their churn rate will be very, very low because their price per square foot is very, very low. My churn rate is probably, well, I know it's high. I know it's high, but I'm okay with that because the price per square foot I'm getting is substantial. When we first opened at Beverley, we was getting 5 years ago, we was getting £65,000 a year. That's all we're taking in rent a year, 65,000. Fast forward 5 years, now we've more than doubled it. we're 100 and something thousand. Was it 3 years ago I was doing that figure? Anyway, so you can see the increase there. And obviously, if you're going to increase it by over double, then you are going to lose some customers. You are going to have churn. But we accept churn because it's part and parcel of having a high square foot, price per square foot. So it's a really, really interesting concept. And I don't hear too many people talking about it. But for me, it's fundamentally important to make sure we keep an eye on that churn rate, because that churn rate can make or break you as a company. First of all, I keep saying this, how you act in lease up is completely different to how you act when you're maturity, because what we need to do is in lease up, we need to get occupancy. In maturity, we need to maximize that price per square foot. And unfortunately, when you start maximizing that price per square foot, then your churn rate is going to suffer. But that's okay, because we're bringing in other people who are willing to pay that higher price rate. Listen, my kids have been calling me while being on the phone. They're all in bed. And so I'm going to leave you with that. And next episode, we're talking about mentorship. I've been having a couple of conversations with people, and somebody said to me, it worried me a little bit. It worried me for them, because I think mentorship is the most important thing in business. I wouldn't be in the position I'm in now if it wasn't for mentorship. And I think it's worth its weight in gold. And the problem is, again, like a website, people see mentorship as an expense, not an investment. Mentorship is an investment. It should have a positive return on investment. If it doesn't, then you've got the wrong mentor. It should make a big difference in your business to your bottom line. And if it doesn't, then it doesn't mean mentorship doesn't work. It means you're with the wrong person, with the wrong mentor. And next week, oh man, so many great episodes. We could be talking about microsites, why the price goes up per square foot, in fit outs. We could be talking about the cost of chasing people for money. And I'm not selling that one very well, but delinquents, it should be under a certain amount percentage. Why I'm not showing price increases anymore on Clough Road, and I'm trying to get a data to prove that I'm right. What else? This should be expected in terms of moving. Anyway, there's loads of potential episodes. I've got a whole list of them on my notepad. Really can't wait to get into it. All right, my friends, thank you so much. I appreciate you guys, and thank you for all the awesome messages. I will get round to replying to everybody, because obviously without you guys, there is no Hacking Self Story. So I really, really genuinely appreciate it. And I can't believe that a guy who stutters so much and says things, I repeat myself over and over again, and people seem to listen. So yeah, I appreciate it. I massively appreciate it. We're having record month again. I've been inundated with sponsorship requests, and so much so that I've just practically ignored people, because I don't know what to do. I don't know how to charge it. I don't know what to do. And yeah, I didn't expect all this. So yeah, really love it. I absolutely love it. So thank you so much. I really appreciate you guys, and I will speak to you on Friday. See you soon. Bye-bye.